What up, guys? It's a girl here, Poe Maverick, and my fellow moviegoer, Chirag Sonani, suggested that I watch this movie called Queen, and I loved it. I loved it. I'm going to give this movie right off the bat a 9. 9 because this is like a good movie. It's like it reminded me of another movie called, it was a Hallmark movie, or may have been a Lifetime movie, one of the two. And it was called Honeymoon for One. And in that movie, this woman finds out that her fiance was cheating on her. And then she goes to Ireland because that was supposed to be their honeymoon. And she ends up falling in love with an Irishman. And of course, you know, it takes off from there. Well, in this movie, it is completely different. I'm glad that it didn't go with like, okay, she fell in love with another man on her. No, I'm glad it was about her. Her, the hero of the story, the hero of her own story. You know, and that's why I like about it so much, because it was her. It wasn't a cliche thing. She found her independent. She went from there. So this movie, Queen, this one gives the whole new meaning behind Lady Gaga's lyric, "Don't be a drag, just be a queen." And this girl's a queen. So Renee is a 24-year-old woman who is about to be married off to her fiance, Vijay. I had to write it down. But things get a little hectic. Basically, he calls it off because saying she's too conservative and that, you know, it doesn't seem like she wants to do anything. And he feels, because he was abroad, you know, his perspective had changed. And he feels like it's just, you know, with the lifestyle he wants, you know, she's not going to be able to do so, and he doesn't want that, so he feels it's a bad match. So she's distraught, you know, she tells her family the news, and she's crying, and she kind of shuts herself off, you know, remembering the good times with this guy. And her grandma tells her, you know, things will get better, you know, take advantage of this misfortune, make a fortune of this misfortune, you know. Sometimes it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as like a good a good fortune in disguise, something like that. So, you know, she's down and out, but you know what? She doesn't want to be down and out. She takes advantage of what was her honeymoon. So basically, her honeymoon was going to be in France and then in Amsterdam. She basically tells her parents, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to go on this honeymoon. I know it's supposed to be a honeymoon, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go alone, and I'm going to go from there. Her parents think, you know what? That's a good idea. You know, go have fun, go travel. You know, that's what you wanted. Go from there. I love traveling. I really want to go visit Paris, and I really want to go to Amsterdam. No joke. Well, she goes to France, and things get a little hectic. So she goes in there, and she happens to meet a free-spirited woman who just so not only happens to be also Indian, but she's also Spanish and French. Yep, she's also Spanish. And this girl is, I know I'm gonna butcher her name. Bijaya Lakishma. She works at the hotel that Renee is working on. So, you know, Renee in Paris, you know, starts to get overwhelmed. I mean, so overwhelmed that she manages not only to get in trouble with the police, but a robber. Seriously? The police were supposed to be the good guys. You know, she gets in some trouble here and there, and she starts to reconsider going back to New Delhi. But Baji Lakishma goes to the rescue and says, hang on, let me give you a tour. Let me take you on adventures, And they do have fun. They do have adventures. And as we see this, we start to learn that her fiance Vijay wasn't exactly a good guy. I mean, he would tell her she can't dance and she can't drink. Excuse me, if I have ever had a boyfriend tells me that, oh, you can't do this or that, bye bye. Not happening. I'm free to do what I want to do when I want. If I want to eat an egg at 12 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to eat an egg at 12 o'clock in the morning. If I'm going to be hanging out with friends for 4 to 6 hours, and yet you say that's not good, but you're going to hang out with your friends first, yeah, we got an issue, and you need to go. It ain't happening. But, we start to see that, she, maybe it's perhaps a good thing that she is the way she is. So she's having fun, she's having a blast, and then she goes on tries dresses with her new friend. And she starts to have a mistake happens in which she has a very revealing dress, which is away from her conservativeness, hanging loose, now understanding, now being free to do what she wants and seeing that, wow, I like this. She ends up taking a selfie, but she accidentally sends it to her ex-fiance, which was supposed to be with Rajia Lakishma. And I hope I said that name right. And unbeknownst to her, when he gets it, he's like, wow, okay. It starts to pique his interest again. So he goes to tries to find her and things like that. Well, eventually, it's time for her to go to Amsterdam. And then, she's, sad and things like that because, wow, I had a great experience, and she had found a new friend and things like that. So she ends up going to Amsterdam. When she's there, she goes to her hostel and finds out that there are 3 men in the same room as she is. So she's a bit taken back because, of cultural things and things like that, and not the same. She thought that was her room. Well, it turns out she's going to be sharing it with them. And eventually she starts to open up to that. We have, one of them is from Japan and the other one's from France and the other one is from Russia. And she starts to see that there are so many different places. Like, who would have thought that so many different people are going through the same thing that I am at the same time, go through different things all over different parts of the world. So it kind of gave her a new broad experience. Like, wow, that's awesome. So she's having fun with these guys. She ends up, going to an adult store. She ends up going to church. She ends up going to a dance club where she happens to meet a woman from Lenore who is basically, she's like a pole dancer. She happens to meet a pole dancer who is basically helping out with her family back in Lenore. She's like the breadwinner, things like that. And her name is Roxati, but her stage name is Rakishar. I think Rakish. She has a stage name, And not only that, get this, she just so happens that to know Vijalakishma. She just happens to know the girl that our girl met in France, things like that. So, she's having fun, she's having a blast. And all of a sudden she finds Vijay, her ex-fiance, outside. So basically she goes to them. Well, actually a lot more things happen before that. Well, she sees, she goes to see Vijay. Well, actually, sorry, I'm getting my stuff mixed up. Basically, seeing that she has, prior to seeing, her ex-fiance, she finds out that she is of worth, that she has potential. In doing so, she decides to enter in a cook-off. And she ends up winning the cook-off. And then both the restaurant owner and the Italian host, talk to her, share an intimate moment and things like that. And she shares a kiss, a lip-to-lip kiss, like an Indo-Italian kiss, something like that. And the guy goes, Indians are the best cooks and the best kissers, which is kind of funny. And she's like, oh my God, She's a bit shocked, of course, but she's like, oh, wow. All right. And then, she goes back with her friends, and then she sees her fiance basically telling her, hey, let's talk, blah, 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 blah. Her friends go to, her rescue. No, you ain't gonna, no, 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 blah, 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 blah. During her last night, she decides, you know what, let me hear what my BJ has to, let me see how my ex-fiance is, So she decides to go see him before, other than go to the concert. So he's talking on how, okay, you know what, let's start over, things like that. But here's the thing, he starts to kind of lecture her on how she can't hang out with people like that because he feels that they're not correct people, and also hanging out with people of the opposite sex and their behavior is kind of Nazi, kind of like not okay. She gets mad and goes, you know what? I will talk to you when I come back from New Delhi to New Delhi. I'm going to go hang out with my friends, and there's like a one night left. She hangs out with them to a concert. She has fun. And she ends up, saying goodbye, say goodbye to friends and things of that nature. She goes back to New Delhi, and everyone is, like her family's going, oh my God, okay, so we can start redoing the plans. We could go from there. She goes, no. Thank you for doing what you did. It kind of helped out a lot. I kind of like what I am. I'm of worth. I'm free. Blah blah blah. She's like, it's best that we go our separate ways. Of course, the family is shocked, but she's happy. She walks out with a smile on her face with a newfound independence of going, I have a right to be me. I have a right to be me. I have a right to have fun. I have a right, new perspective. I do have potential. I am of worth, and she remembers the words of her grandmother. Sometimes things happen for the better. So, yes, it hurt that she didn't have her engagement. Her engagement was called off. But she's happy that I do have potential. I can be my own woman. I'm a queen, damn it. I'm a queen, damn it. But yeah, this was a good movie. I'm going to give it a 9. Chirag, thank you so much for this request. I do appreciate it. This was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Give it a 9. Like I said, I give it a 9. And I do like it was about her, because in your life, the only thing that the story needs is you. The only happy ending is you. 9 out of 10 of the time, it doesn't have to end with a love story, things like that. You are your own hero. And that's what she did. She was the hero of the story. She goes, I don't need no man. I don't need you. I'm going to go do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm 24 years old. Well, I'm not 24 years old, but she was 24 years old. 24 years old. I went from there. But yeah, so this was a good movie. Like I said, I'll give it a 9. That's going to be it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys will have a wonderful rest of your day. And safe there, okay, guys? Bye.